Hello, 8th graders. Our very first unit is something called Consumer Products Fair. In this unit, we're going to be reviewing some things that I know that you've seen before in 6th and 7th grade, and making sure that you understand how being a scientist might look different between 6th, 7th, and now 8th grades. Another goal of this unit is to get you ready for a possible opportunity that you might want to explore. If you have had siblings or know some friends who have had this class before, you'll know that science fair is a thing that used to be a part of 8th grade. Well, good news or bad news, however you want to look at it, science fair is not a part of 8th grade anymore. However, Mr. Steinbauer and I will be holding a club this year where you can still participate in either History Day or science fair. If that is something that you're interested in, it'll be competitive. There's a way to win prizes, money. It's pretty exciting stuff. So whether you're interested in it or not, this unit will get you prepared for such a thing as science fair. Here's how this unit is going to move forward. As I said, this unit is called Consumer Products Fair, and we're going to be working together to pretty much do a science fair project. You're going to be working with 2 other people, so a grand total of groups of 3, and your big question that you're going to be answering is, what makes a product better than another product? So if you've ever seen like a commercial before, that's basically what advertising is trying to convince you of. Like, our product is way better than the competitors. Well, your job is going to be to actually test those claims. Like, is this product better? And you're going to go through all the different steps of the science fair process in order to come up with data that actually shows whether or not that thing is better or not. Throughout the course of this unit, you're going to get all sorts of feedback from me, both in terms of what things that might look like grades, like I'll give you a score on a rubric, and I'll meet with you and your group quite a bit. But what you need to know is that you're not going to get a grade in Infinite Campus until the very last step of this unit when we have our assessment. So on the last week of the unit, you're going to present to the rest of the class what you and your group found out about your product. After that, I'm going to give you a different kind of experiment that you're going to do an exact same write-up on, except you're going to do this one individually, independently. The good news is that you get to use all of your notes and everything you did with your group of 3 on the assessment. So what that means is that if you do a really good job of making sure that you're working through all the steps of the Consumer Products Fair, keeping good notes, writing up a good write-up, working together with your team, the unit assessment should be a piece of cake. In September, Mr. Steinbauer and I are going to be running Science Fair and History Day Club. So if you find that you like the process of this Consumer Products Fair, you feel like it comes pretty naturally to you, or you just want that extra challenge and you want to have a chance to go and compete at the state level, that's going to be a big opportunity for you. I will tell you that if you are the kind of person that is willing to put forth the effort, I've done science fair long enough, I can dang near guarantee you that you'll get an opportunity to compete at state. If that is something that sounds interesting to you, it's called the Corden Pharma Science Fair. If you want more information, it's really easy to Google search. It happens in March. There are chances to win scholarships. I've had students who walk away with hundreds of dollars in cash prizes. No joke. They write you a check if you are willing to compete for it. So let's talk a little bit more about what the specifics of this project are going to be. In years past, we have tested different kinds of products, and like I said earlier, your job is to figure out which thing is better. This year, we're going to be focusing on paper towels. So if you're trying to figure out which type of paper towel is better than another type, the first big step is to decide, well, what defines better? What makes it better than another? And there are a lot of different things that we can measure that might make it good or better than another kind. And that's going to be what you and your group are going to choose first. Here are some ideas of things that you could choose to think about, and this is not the whole list. In fact, if you and your group have another idea outside of this, I would strongly encourage you to consider that other choice because it'll differentiate you from other groups and it'll give you a better leg to stand on for your argument. So here are some things to think about. Maybe you want to compare strength, which paper towel is stronger than another type, or total absorbency, like how much total water or liquid could it absorb, or speed of absorbency. Maybe it can absorb a lot, but it takes a long time to absorb it, and that may not make it as good. Also, I know that people care about the texture. There's a way to measure the smoothness, or anything else that you can think of, but here's the most important part. Whatever you choose to measure about your paper towel has to be measurable. It has to be a thing that you can gather data on, actual numbers. So right now, I want those ideas just to be percolating in your brain for the moment. All of the things that we're going to learn in this unit are now on your screen. If you're curious to know some of the details, you can pause this and read it a little bit more closely. But basically, what I said earlier is still true. We're going to be practicing all of the different parts of a scientific write-up. You're going to choose your topic, you're going to decide how you're going to measure it, you're going to write up your own procedure, collect the data, organize the data, and then you're going to be in charge of explaining what that data actually means and defending your stance. One important thing to know is that you and your group will be working together, but all of your assignments will be coming to you for this unit in Google Classroom. Now let's talk about your group. You're going to be working in groups of 3, and each of you are going to have a different responsibility. One person will be the materials manager, and that one's pretty straightforward. They are going to be basically the ones that are in charge of gathering the materials when you do your experiment, delegating or assigning people jobs when it comes to cleaning up, making sure that they have all the things, reaching out to Mr. Nelson if they don't, stuff like that. The technician is the person who is in charge of organizing things, but organizing the data things or the digital things. They are not the ones who make all the data tables and graphs. Everybody's responsible for that. But they're the ones that make sure that everything is organized digitally. So like, is there a folder? Does everyone have access to the folder? When there is an issue with technology stuff or questions with digital stuff, they're the ones that reach out to me with those kinds of questions. The last one is called the strategist. They are the ones who are mostly in charge of time. When I'm circulating around the room and asking questions about like, what are you working on now? How much time is it going to take? How much more time do you need for this? What are you going to be doing next work time? Those are the people who are thinking about the big picture and whether or not they are in a good place to get everything done on time. When it comes to who are the individuals in your group, that's going to be something that you are going to have input in, but I am ultimately going to make the decision. So at the end of this video, your job is going to be to answer a few questions, and one of them is who are some people that you would like to have in your group. Now, given that you are in 8th grade and just a year away from being in high school, I want you to consider what a responsible choice might look like when it comes to choosing your group. You've been in school long enough to know that sometimes the wrong choices with group members can really tank your own learning. Sometimes you just have to look at your friend and say, we're good friends, but maybe later. Right now I have to choose some people who are going to actually help me do a good job. Because like I said earlier, if you do a great job on your project, it's going to make your assessment that much better. Your final product when you present at the end of this project is going to be in the form of a Google Slides presentation. You're going to be matched up with another group and you're going to present to just one other group, so it's pretty small, low stakes. And that other group actually is going to be a group that did the exact same project. So if you both get the same data, you'll be able to nitpick each other and see like, well, how well did you get the data? In some cases, you and your opposing group might actually have slightly different data, and your job will be to figure out, well, what went wrong and critique their procedure. But no matter which case of those, it doesn't really matter. You're going to be grading each other's work on the rubric that's on your screen. So you're going to be grading essentially 5 different chunks in order to give each other feedback, and I too will be grading the same way. So now it's time to think about getting started. Your next step is to go to the Google form that's attached in Google Classroom and take the little mini quiz. It's not a graded quiz, it just lets me know if you were paying attention and if you caught some of the major details. You're going to let me know which topic you would prefer, like which thing about paper towel you would like to test, and which job you would like, and most importantly, who would work well with you in this project. I'm going to try to honor your preferences, but I cannot promise you that you're going to get the people that you list on the form. So please be honest with me and let me know what you're thinking about. I look forward to working with you on this project.